1920s and 30s, it was a lot different. We were learning a lot of things back then. We were discovering vitamins for the first time. We also learned that food could heal. And a lot of these therapies are what were being used to heal people. They were using non-starchy, non-sugary diets to starve cancer in the 1920s and 30s. Take Otto Warburg, for instance. He was doing cancer studies on rats. He thought that the outcome would be that oxygen was what was fueling cancer cells to grow. And what he learned with rats was that it was actually the sugar.
In the healthy cell, glucose is split into carbon dioxide and water. The tumor cell, however, is able to split glucose into lactic acid, and so, in a certain sense, get along without oxygen, and at the same time, obtain the necessary energy from its food. This is true not only in tumor cells separated from the body, but also true of tumors in animals and human beings.
His discovery was well known as the Warburg effect, and it was shown to help in somewhere near 80% of the cases of people who had cancer. Why does it feel like no one knows this information? You know, I don't know the answer, but why is it whenever a new study comes out, it's always talking about how food is going to kill you? I think that's a major misdirection to what we should be focused on. Food should be used to prevent illness, not to just help reverse it once it's too late. One of the areas we haven't talked about until recently is how food can affect your brain health.
I became interested in mental health and the connection between mental health and diet after I had developed a lot of my own health problems and had changed my diet and discovered that diet had a lot more to do with health and mental health than I had ever been taught that it had. In my early 40s, about 10 years ago, I developed a number of mysterious symptoms that I think a lot of people, especially middle-aged women, will identify with. So things like chronic pain, fibromyalgia, IBS, chronic fatigue, migraines, lots of different symptoms that all of my very smart Harvard-affiliated doctors couldn't help me with. After about 6 months of trial and error, I arrived at this diet that was completely upside down from what I had been taught was good for me. It was basically a mostly meat diet, high in meat and fat and cholesterol. And when I arrived at that diet, all of the symptoms that I'd been struggling with completely went away. And I thought, you know, this diet actually is also improving my mental health, and I'm a psychiatrist. The most powerful way to change your brain chemistry would be through food, because that's where brain chemicals come from in the first place. If you're getting most of your sugar and most of your glucose from the outside of the body, you run the risk of getting spikes, peaks and troughs in your blood sugar and insulin level, and those can destabilize brain chemistry. So those can create mood swings, insomnia, irritability, changes in appetite throughout the course of the day. When you eat a ketogenic diet, you're using fat primarily for energy, and the brain is using, to a large extent, ketones instead of glucose.
Today, if you're anywhere near Google, you will learn that this is known as dietary ketosis.